Channel 20 Sports Desk.
Good evening, everyone. Sammy St. Jean here, and welcome into our first ever scheduled release show. And this year, we do it with a new name. Moving on from the past, our Friday football will now be the Friday Night Showdown show. So welcome into the 2025 Friday Night Showdown schedule release show, revealing our 8 game of the weeks for the 2025 season. Now, I have Carson Gordy and Spencer Davis, who will jump in here with just a few moments. But first, we can look at the 2024 schedule.
Better get him. He's crossed midfield. He's going to go. One guy to beat. He's going to go all the way. First down from the 33. Handoff. Goes left. Has some room. First down and more. Crosses midfield. Still going. Look at Mikey Gress. Going so, and he breaks the tackle. He's in the end zone. Going to roll right. Throws. And now the hands. No, he caught it.
Is he in? Touchdown.
He's in. Touchdown. Looking. Got a man open. Hits him. He's going. He might go all the way. He's in for the end zone. There's 18 Gage. Paul has it.
Got some
room.
room.
Look at go. He's going to bust this one and score. Touchdown, Gage Paul.
Enjoy the victory.
And now kicking off the season, a brand new head football coach. He's going to have the lights and the cameras turned on his program. Logan Larson and the Pleasant Plain Cardinals will be hosting Week 1. This is a program getting a shot in the arm. Larson was actually a graduate from Pleasant Plains back in 2013. And he does replace their longtime head coach, John Hempleton. Larson has head coaching experience, but the Cardinals have not had a winning season since 2018. They did lose their quarterback from last year, but they do return some skill position guys. And Larson thinks there's plenty of athletes on the roster.
The biggest thing is, like, these guys are really successful in every other sport. You know, those guys had a really successful baseball season, basketball, you know, those traditions in every sport. You know, success and the hard work and dedication it takes from all the other sports, you know, we got to be able to do that on the football field.
And heading to Plains to face off against the Cardinals in Week 1, it's the Pretzels of New Berlin. And they'll look to improve off of a 7-3 season last year, which included a victory here on FNS. Well, the Pretzels boast 17 returning seniors to their roster. They'll be tasked with replacing 32 of their 34 touchdowns scored last year. Some of the guys that will try to do it: Connor Stinson, Charlie Newman, Drew Johnson, and Evan Spencer. Last year's defensive coordinator and this year's head coach, Trent Quarton, has his eyes set on the present and the future.
Just for this season, I would say, you know, just doing right by these seniors, you know, and having a good year, being competitive in every game. Obviously want to be a playoff team. Everybody does, though, at this part of the season. And then I think, like, long-term, just, you know, building it out where kids want to be a part of Pretzel football, and we continue to get more and more numbers, and kids are excited to, you know, play football here.
In the next game, expect a lot of points in this ball game. We're going to see Mount Zion hosting Under the Lights. And the Braves, they're coming off that state title game appearance, but it wouldn't be shocking to see the Braves go one step further and take home first place in 2025. Now, the Braves, they did lose Braden Trimble off to the University of Illinois, but they're still loaded. Bring back J.C. Anderson, the tight end, who's actually going to Ole Miss. And then you have a guy who doesn't get talked about enough, like Jacob Harvey, who actually led the Braves in receiving yards last year. And I wouldn't be shocked if he finally snags that Division I scholarship offer this fall. This is going to be one of the best passing attacks in Central Illinois.
Everybody in the state of Illinois has the same goal: win a state championship. And then, you know, you have other goals based off that. So we talk about it one time a year, and then other than that, we talk about the process. And we talk about what it takes and what we have to do each day to get better, to get where we want to be.
And last month, 4-star tight end J.C. Anderson ended his high-profile recruitment. Experts constantly changing their predictions where he would land. Everybody wanted him. In his final 3 schools, he was down to the Auburn Tigers, the Ole Miss Rebels, and the Illinois Fighting Illini.
I'll be going to the University of Mississippi.
Well, the whole goal of making the decision in the summer was so I could focus on this football season and just playing ball with my boys and just giving my all into that instead of, you know, like stressing about the decision or anything. So it's been really good. It's been really relieving. Just back to my roots, just playing ball.
Thanks, Carson. And the road team in this matchup, making this game I know one that everybody's fired up about, including both of these teams. It's the Rochester Rockets returning to the Friday Night Showdown for the first time since 2021. Now, for Rochester last year, they had their ups and downs, and they finished with the joint best record in the conference, and they had a really good win as well against U-High, a really good team, but they also had some down performances as well. Quite a few injuries, including multiple quarterbacks. Now, Coach Leonard said he was very proud of the team dealing with all of that adversity, but he also said that this year's team is young, and they'll be dealing with one of, if not the hardest regular season schedule in recent memory.
But that group went through a lot. I mean, a lot of injuries, getting to our third and fourth quarterbacks, third and fourth running backs. It's just, man, it's the conference, but it's also the non-conference. Mount Zion returning state champs. I mean, they should be ranked 1 or 2 in 4A. They got everybody back.
Welcome back to the 2025 Friday Night Showdown schedule release show. We're going to take a break from the games and also highlight some of the top stories across Central Illinois. Illinois Unity said goodbye to their longtime head coach, Scott Hamilton. He was there for 33 years. But before Tony Reese could officially take over, he had to deal with a medical issue.
Good.
When Scott Hamilton retired in January, his hand-picked successor was having brain surgery.
It was acoustic neuroma or vestibular schwannoma. I have lost all my hearing in my right ear. There is still about 10% of the tumor in there. They don't think it'll be a problem. Everything looks like it's healing well, and everything's on tracks.
A top assistant for 2 decades, it was no surprise that Reese would power through and take over the football program.
Nope. You knew he was a fighter when he knew all this was coming, and first conversation he had with his doctor was that he wanted to coach this season. Tried to schedule this surgery between a football season and a track season, and how he wouldn't miss either one of them.
Now, thank you, stars, and make sure to check out that story, the full one, tonight on ABC and Fox Illinois, as well as the website later on tonight. But now, week 4, and the home team, a powerhouse here in Central Illinois. We welcome back the Cyclones from Sacred Heart Griffin to Friday Night Showdown, and they will be our hosts here in week 4. They're coming off an up-and-down season, a 6-5 year overall, following a 7-win season the year before. A little bit lower than the standard we come to expect from SHG, but they bring back plenty of talent with a lot more experience. Their season did also feature an impressive postseason win over Muhammad Seymour. And Coach Allison said this year's team has a renewed focus.
A different approach to how we lift weights, a different approach to how we practice, a different urgency. We've got a little bit more kids on the team holding other kids accountable this year, and I think that relied a lot more on the coaches. And we had some great players that were seniors last year. I just think collectively this group expects and demands a little bit more out of the younger kids.
And taking on Sacred Heart Griffin will be the defending Central State West winners, Quincy Notre Dame. QND joined the Central State 8 West last season and certainly made their stamp on it. A state quarterfinalist last year, the Raiders will look to run their conference table again. Upperclassmen like Braden Smith, Gavin Dolman, and Oliver Triplett will look to lead on both sides of the ball. Head coach Jack Cornell says his guys are ready for anything and look forward to their matchup against the Cyclones.
I think there's every game we're excited for. I think every chance, you only get 9 opportunities to play football. I think you're going to be excited to play every single one of them. And I think that, we can see rivalries budding in this conference, and I think that's exciting for us. I think anytime the Catholic schools in the same diocese can square off, it's a good thing.
Spencer, let's switch from week 4 to week 5 now. Almost halfway through our schedule reveal, the home team in week 5 is a team that didn't really have a home game at all in 2024. It's Southeast. The Spartans, they're back, and they're returning to Spartan Field after playing last year over at Memorial Stadium. Now, the Spartans, they had a tough 2024 overall, a 2-7 record with just 1 conference win. But Southeast, they showed progress during the season, and they bring back head coach Nate Borders for his 2nd year at the helm. Now, Coach Borders said last year he might have been a little naive when it came to culture building, but the history teacher, he put that title to work this offseason, setting up on developing a team dynamic.
I think that was something that last year I kind of took for granted, where I thought, hey, if I just mosey in, act like myself, culture's going to work itself out. This year being more focused on culture, getting the team bonded, playing together, all that. I think that's my big focus, my main goal. They're just real excited to come back here and play. We love Memorial Field, but nothing quite beats that home grass that they all know and love.
And who are the Spartans looking to knock off in week 4? It's the Crimsons of Jacksonville, who had one of the region's most powerful rushing attacks last season. 37.7 points per game last year and only running the ball mostly. Pretty good. And you look who's returning, and you're like, if this was a stock, you'd want to buy it. Sure, losing running back to Lamarian Williams, that's a gut punch. But you have sophomore Jeremiah Jackson who can get 100 yards a game. And then a quarterback like Braden Hutchinson, he's not the tallest guy, but he can be like a running back at times with his legs.
We don't ask him to throw the ball 50 times a game, but he reads the triple option. And he did a tremendous job running our offense. And he's just a leader, and he's a hard-working kid. And develop as a top-shelf, playoff qualifying quarterback.
And after the break, we talk about those week 6 and 7 matchups of the Friday Night Showdown schedule.
And welcome back to the Friday Night Showdown schedule reveal show. We're halfway through the 8 games so far, and let's move on over to week 6. Playing hosts will be the Trojans of Auburn, the only team we weren't able to connect with at all this past month. But after graduating leading quarterback Jack Jones, receiver Carter Hundley, and leading rusher Caden Venrick, the Trojans will turn to guys like Peyton Campbell, Chance Chrissy, and Eli LaFontaine to lead the way in 2025. They'll look to improve off of a 2-7 season last year.
All right, Spencer, now Auburn, they will be the home team, but who will they face? Now, this matchup will feature a whole lot of blue. I can tell you that much. It's Porta. They'll be the road team to face Auburn in week 6 of Friday Night Showdown this year. Now, Porta, the past few seasons, is a program that has continued to grow in numbers. Head coach Lonnie McElhaney, he said that he's seen the numbers grown from this roster from the 20s to over 60 players entering this year. Not only that, but the program is one that didn't lose many pieces. So they bring a confidence and some experience that we have not seen or may not have seen from Blue team in quite a while.
Small varsity class last year. We only had 5 seniors last year. So this year we have a lot of those guys coming back, like I said. New defense last year as well, so I feel like we didn't really catch our stride until about mid-season. Our kids come out this year and they are very confident in what they're doing, and it'll be exciting to see where they take it.
And week 7 welcomes a pair of programs who bounced back in 2024 and made the playoffs. But in 2025, they're looking to take the next level. And hosting this October battle where clinching a playoff bid could be on the line is the St. Teresa Bulldogs. This Bulldog team is super interesting. This used to be one of the top programs in the state of Illinois. But after a couple subpar years, they got back to the playoffs last year, which was huge for the program to regain momentum. They did lose their scrambling quarterback, so they'll be relying on running back by committee to keep those defenses honest.
I can't say enough about our seniors from last year. They left us in a great position. We're youthful. I mean, we got a lot of guys that have played reps, but now it's those guys that need to make the plays. It's great to see young people become leaders, you know, whether out of force or necessity and or just making it happen.
Thank you, Carson. Now facing off against the Bulldogs and also returning to Friday Night Showdown will be the Central A&M Raiders. After they missed the playoffs in 2023, the Raiders bounced back in 2024 with a 5-5 record. They'll look to get back into the postseason behind returners Ace Spinner, Evan Pearsall, and Aiden Snyder. A youthful team last year, and now bringing in a new co-op partner in Okaw Valley, Central A&M are ready to rock the boat. After a year off from a longtime rivalry with St. T, head coach Brent Weekly is ready to go.
We haven't played last year, we're playing again, renew that rivalry for a long time, since 1992. For a long time, we played a bunch of times, and it's always been a big thing, and it's good to get an opportunity to play them again.
And coming up after the break, we discuss one more standout prospect from St. Joseph Ogden and reveal our final 2 games of the week.
Before our eyes, Central Illinois, it's become a hotspot for Division I football recruiting, and it's not slowing down. Cameron Wagner is a 4-star left tackle from St. Joe, and I mean everyone and their mother wants him. I asked him what kind of schools are offering him or where he's visiting, and he's like, oh, well, Illinois and Notre Dame and Ohio State and Florida. He's the real deal. He's only a junior, but he's so darn mature. He quits basketball and takes up wrestling because it's better for football. He gains 20 pounds of muscle and looks lean and mean. And even when college coaches are on vacation, they're still hitting up Cameron Wagner.
But yes, he did call me while he was on vacation, showed me his cowboy house, his morning coffee spot he showed me. That was a very nice view is all I can say.
You were telling me earlier about your grandma's nice gesture for you. Can you talk about that?
After my first offer, she's like, you know what, I'll buy you a shirt for every offer you get. I think it's 16, she thinks it's 17, just as she said she's about 17 shirts. So.
And in week 8, it wouldn't be a shock to see these two teams competing to win a regular season Sangamo Conference Championship. First, let's reveal the home team, and it's the Trojans of Maroa Forsyth. I'm excited about this team. They got a great veteran quarterback with Ryan Shepard, one of the best scramblers in the state, and just looks the part. And he can also sling it with 46 passing touchdowns last year. And of course, you lose your top tight end, Grant Smith. He's off to Brett Bielema in Illinois. And Mitch Williams is also gone. But still, you bring back your wide receivers, Smith. And with a senior quarterback like Shepard, there's enough tools to lead the Trojans back to the finals.
His completion percentage is really high, threw for more yards than any quarterback that we've ever had. So probably number one for him, so he's going to have to carry the ball a little bit more, and I think he's up to that task.
Now, when you saw Maroa pop up, that may have given away who our next opponent's going to be. The same as it was last year in a conference-deciding matchup. We have Bullets back, taking on the Trojan in what is, and every single year is, one of the best games on the entire calendar. Now, Williamsville, 2024 Sangamo Conference champions, clinching that title in our game of the week with their win over Maroa Forsyth, but it was a second-round exit for the eventual 3A runners-up in Monticello. Now, head coach Aaron Kuhn said they wanted more last year, and the key to doing so might be their new offensive coordinator.
We got a new offensive coordinator, Mike Popovich. So, you know, we're not completely brand new offensively, but we are doing a lot of different things. So we're gonna be different, but not crazy different.
It's been really smooth. I really like Coach Popovich, and we all have confidence in the systems that he's installed, and he has confidence in all of us to go make plays.
And now, the final host for the Friday Night Showdown slate in 2025 will be the Springfield High Senators. A 5-5 season in 2024 landed Springfield their first playoff appearance since 2021. And this season, they'll look to continue that trend and pick up their first playoff win since that same 2021 season. The Senators will return quarterback Brody Scheffler, running back Armand Lewis, and two-way talent Cale Thurman to build off of last year's success. Their squad last year finished in third in the CS8 West, and with their upperclassmen coming back, they'll look to climb the table. This summer, head coach John Hebb says even with the heat, the team is making the most of their preseason.
Their focus has really been impressive this summer. Even when the energy hasn't been super high, the focus has been very high, and they've really been coachable this summer. And you know, it's just been a really positive summer for all of us, I think.
Now, in time for our final reveal, the road team in our Week 9 matchup, the same Week 9 battle in the Central State 8 that we concluded our year in 2024 with. It's Glenwood. The Titans, they're back in 2025, ready to make some noise once again. Now, Glenwood, they finished last year at 9-3, 4-1 in the conference after scoring clear of 400 points in the season. Now, Springfield High's Coach Hebb saying if Glenwood were still undefeated in Week 9, he wouldn't be surprised. The Titans, too, while they lost a few of their weapons, are bringing back a lot this year. Their whole offensive line, pretty much the same on the other side of the ball, and Colton Knadler to lead under center.
Yeah, I'm really excited to have all of my offensive linemen back. You know, it's always relieving for a quarterback.
That's where the game is, you know, and really we're pretty. And we have kind of the same thing on both sides of the ball, offensive and defensive line. We have a lot of depth on the defensive line, a lot of experience on the offensive line, and that's where football games are won and lost.
As we prepare for our 10th year highlighting the outstanding student athletes here in Central Illinois, we're proud to say that we've gifted $45,000 in scholarships with the help of our sponsors. Each season, we introduce you to a Scholar Athlete of the Week and then choose a Scholar Athlete of the Year at the end of the season. And while our Friday Night Showdown focuses on football, our Scholar Athlete Scholarship recipients come from a wide range of sports, including swimming, cross country, and basketball. Congratulations to all of our previous winners, and we're looking forward to meeting another group of outstanding Scholar Athletes this year. And coming up after the break, we'll take one final look at the 2025 schedule, break all of what we saw down, and we'll also give our favorite games of the year.
Welcome back in one final time here in our schedule release special for Friday Night Showdown. And as we get ready to wrap things up, let's take one final look at all of our Game of the Weeks this year. Pleasant Plains and New Berlin, they'll kick things off Week 1. The Rockets and the Braves in Week 3. UND and SHG in Week 4. And Southeast takes on Jacksonville for Week 5. Well, it's a lot of blue for Week 6. Auburn and Porta, Central A&M and St. Teresa reignite their rivalry next. And two incredible games to finish. Maroa takes on Williamsville and Glenwood against Springfield High. Now, as we quickly finish, guys, I want to ask you all, what is your favorite game on the schedule? We'll start with you, Carson.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go Week 2. I think Rochester, Mount Zion, and this is no offense to the defenses. I just think the offenses are this good, like the first to 50 kind of wins. I think we're going to see a really good shootout. I think J.C. Anderson is just an incredible tight end. Rochester, every year with Derek Lear, can put up 45 points a game. It's going to be Week 2 for me.
Real quick, Spencer.
Yeah, I've got to go with Central A&M and St. T. It's great to see a big rivalry get back on television, and I think it's going to be an awesome game.
Definitely. I'm going with SHG QND. I think there's potentially a little redemption there for SHG. But that's going to do it here for our first ever schedule review show. The 2025 football season is just on the horizon. Make sure to follow along with us all season and catch our Friday Night Showdown covered each and every week. But for myself, Sammy St. Jean, Carson Gordy, and Spencer Davis, have a wonderful night.